Hi everyone, it's Kat, and today I have a process video to share with you. I'm making my own background paper. I started with a blank sheet sheet of American Crafts textured white cardstock. And I'm using my Lindy Stamp Gang Starburst sprays, and I'm just spraying it on some packaging and then smooshing it around on the page. And now I've got some lavender, and what I'm doing is just splatting it so that it leaves like splat marks. It's a dauber top. The sprays, they're not actually sprays. I replaced the spray nozzles because they always got clogged with daubers because I prefer daubers. And so that way I can make these little splat marks on my pages. And I prefer that over the sprays. So now I'm just using my heat tool and drying the page a little bit so that I can go on and finish it, which should take not too much longer. I love the color combination, and if you look, well, you can't really tell on camera, but in person there's all this gold and like shimmer to the page because Lindy's Starburst sprays have like shimmer to them, like a beautiful shimmer. So when you hold it up to the light, it's very pretty. So I'm just using blue or turquoise, lavender, and alpine rose. And now that my background is finished, I've got my two photos, and these photos are of my two nieces, and they were at my old house in my scrap room, and they were painting, and they were making an absolute mess. And that was where I came up with the idea for the background of this layout. I thought that I would try to match what they were making. I'm using 6x6 paper, pattern papers from the Avery L Everyday Collection. Is it Everyday Collection? Yeah, Everyday Collection paper pad. And I just had scraps left over because I used the Simon Says Stamp Sketch Heart die to die cut some hearts, which you'll see in just a few minutes. And then the papers that were left over, I ended up using those as layers on my layout. So I'm just using my ATG and my Tombow stamp runner just to adhere everything down to the page. And now you'll see the hearts that I cut out. And if you look closely, you can see there's two parts to each die cut. There's an outline of the heart, and then there's the inside of the heart. And what I did was I cut it out in three different colors, pink, blue, and purple. And then I mixed and matched the inside and outside of the hearts just so that they would stand out a little bit more. And I'm putting those in three different places on my layout. Excuse me. So now I'm pulling out my die cuts, and I store my die cuts by color in these little photo boxes. And I've got some Heidi Swap die cuts like vellum and paper and just a whole bunch of different ones. And I'm going to stamp on one of them using my new Heidi Swap stamp that came in my February Noel Mignon kit. And I'm stamping the word sweet on a die cut that I'm going to put on one of the hearts. And I thought about using that Cherish die cut, but I decided not to. I found this one that says Great Day, and I like that better. So I just used my tiny attacher to staple that onto the page. So all the die cuts that I chose came from Heidi Swap today. It just was a coincidence that they happened to match this layout and be in my stash. So I'm just going to go through here and see how many I have. And I'm going to go through the pink, and then I'm going to look in the blue. Sorry about that, guys. Someone was at my front door. Okay, so as I was saying, I went through my pink die cuts, and now I'm going through the blue ones, and I found another one that I liked, and I'm going to stamp the word adore on it using that Heidi Swap stamp set. And then I'm going to place that over my other heart. And then I'm just going to go through the blue die cuts and choose a couple and put those around on the page. And then I'll be done with my die cuts. I was going to put some purple ones on, but I actually don't have any. I don't have anything purple for scrapbooking. I don't know why. I guess they don't make a lot of purple. So now I'm going through my alphabet stickers and I'm looking for an alpha to use for the title. And the title is going to be Two Girls and Paint. And I know it's kind of a silly title, like it's boring, but it was the only thing I could come up with, and I'm terrible at titles. So I decided to use these Heidi Swap puffy stickers in hot pink. And because they're like a darker pink, they stand out a little bit more, and I really like that about these. And they're also the perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead and put my title down, and then I'll be back. Actually, I think this is the end of the layout. After I put the title down, I will be all finished. So there'll be a close-up in just a second and a photo at the end. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. And if you liked the video or the layout, can you give me a thumbs up? I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time. Bye.